The Medici family, Renaissance bankers who hacked the system to charge interest when it was illegal, funded history's greatest artists, and put their relatives on the papal throne. The year is 1397. Florence, Italy. Giovanni de' Medici opens a small bank. This was the start of the most powerful financial dynasty Europe had ever seen and dominated for almost 100 years. The Medicis weren't noble-born. They started in the wool trade, then moved into foreign exchange. The Medicis created branch banking with a network of semi-independent branches across Europe. Florence, Rome, Venice, Geneva, Bruges, London. Each branch had local partners who invested their own capital and shared in the profits. And their corporate structure was revolutionary. They used limited liability partnerships, the accomanda, where silent partners could invest without risking everything. This let them raise more capital while protecting their investors. The Medicis also perfected double-entry bookkeeping. Every transaction recorded twice to let them track complex transactions across multiple branches and currencies. But here's where it gets spicy. The Catholic Church prohibited usury, charging interest on loans. The Medicis would lend in one currency and require repayment in another at a conveniently favorable exchange rate. Or they'd use discretion bills, where the repayment amount was higher than the loan, but technically not interest. And the Pope was totally fine with it because the Medicis became the papal bankers. That's right, they managed the Vatican's finances. They popularized the bill of exchange, a negotiable instrument that could be traded before maturity. The Medicis weren't just bankers, they were venture capitalists. They funded the Renaissance, Brunelleschi's dome, Donatello's sculptures, Botticelli's paintings, all Medici money. At their peak, the Medici Bank had a return on investment of about 30% annually. They controlled Europe's financial system, bought their way into nobility, and even put family members in positions of power, including producing 3 popes. But like all good things in finance, it couldn't last forever. By the late 1400s, the Medici Bank was overextended. Too many loans to powerful people who didn't repay. When King Edward IV of England defaulted on Medici loans after the Wars of the Roses, it was like a medieval Lehman Brothers moment. The final blow? The Medicis got too focused on politics and neglected their core business. Lorenzo the Magnificent was more interested in running Florence and collecting art than watching the balance sheet. By 1494, the main bank was liquidated. So what did the Medicis teach us? That financial innovation creates generational wealth. That networking and information give you an edge. That mixing business with politics can be profitable but dangerous. And that even the biggest financial empires can collapse if you take your eye off the balance sheet.